questions for Professor Serpa? Yes, over here.
Well, could a command system be controlled through democratic methods, like a democratically controlled socialism, which has existed in the past, like in Spain? And then, utilizing technology, could we allocate resources based on the will of the people while considering what we need and what we actually have?
Well, that will actually be something that Cody is going to address, that aspect of whether we can collectively accumulate data and make that work for our economy. But to answer your question, can we have a command society that works that way? And I would, with a democracy, and I would say no. The definition of a command society is the commands are coming from up top. And every communist society that has had a coordination problem. I just don't see information getting back to the top fast enough.
Well, now we have the internet, and we weren't able to try with the internet when we tried before. And as far as it being controlled from the top could be controlled by the people through networks, computer access.
As I said, this is going to kind of develop as Cody
I was just
expands
wondering
his
if it
argument.
was possible, technically, to have a command system that's controlled by the masses and not necessarily by a king.
Right, I see your point. As I said, that's where we're going to kind of develop that argument as we go. Yes, in the back.
You said work was respected. At that time, there were a lot of slaves that worked hard, but they weren't really respected.
I really don't want to get into the complete issue of slavery and the issues that we have in the United States. I would definitely say, though, that our founding fathers at that time were at a crossroads. I would say a lot of people, especially John Adams and Abigail Adams and other people, were very much in support of that there needed to be equality for all people. And I think it's funny that the Declaration of Independence didn't discriminate between different types of men. It said all men are created equal. And that has led to a civil war, which I think was our bloody battle. That was kind of the consequences of not getting rid of that in the first place. And that from there, because our economy has had the roots to respect people and that equality exists, that we are moving forward in time, just not even within race, but also with women equality and children's rights in the early 1900s, etc.
I would like to hear your opinion on the economic effects or the cost of capitalism upon society, taking into account the 1% known in society, such as Bill Gates or Donald Trump. And then, as well as the book Atlas Shrugged. I'm pretty sure you heard about it, by Ayn Rand.
I haven't. What is it?
Ayn Rand, the name is Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand.
Okay, I haven't heard of that.
Okay, so then on the 1%.
But I will answer your question about the 1%. I think it's interesting that we're concerned about the wealth of other people. The rich will always be among us. The main thing I want to know is the standard of living increasing for the common person? And I would say it is. Obviously right now we're going through economic times that make it harder, I would say, for the average person to move up, but we're still moving along. The rich aren't always just taking out of society. You're looking at that 1%. What are they doing for the economy? Are they having a housekeeper, a butler, a private taxi, private jet? Are they employing people? Is that a problem that wealth is going to them? And my question is, as I said, is the common man being lifted, and are they moving up in society as well? Yes. Any other questions? Yes.
You mentioned that capitalism is like a competition.
Right.
It makes, like, for example, like art or like music better. When you say that it makes it better, it's like sometimes it just seems like it's a, for example, like the fast food industry, sometimes it just seems like it's a race to see who can make the cheapest hamburger. Or like, for example, like the music industry, like all I hear on the radio is like sex, drugs, and partying. You say it's better.
Right. I mean, it's easy to look at that when you're looking at maybe mainstream pop culture, but look at the different music that has arisen through different entertainment forms. As a violinist, I can tell you some of the great symphonies that I would consider great works of modern artists have been the soundtracks to Pirates of the Caribbean, Lords of the Rings, Harry Potter. You look at this music and it's almost, I mean, it's as good as Mozart and Bach, and that has risen out of the necessity for true art to be used in another art form. So even though we're looking at movies right now as entertainment, I think in 100 and 200 years from now, we'll be looking back and those would be the great artists of the day.
What's your opinion on the trickle-down theory?
Oh, goodness. Well, economists can say it with a straight face, and I don't think anyone else can. There is definitely, you're talking about like the multiplier effect, that you put money into society and it helps and it goes down through the different people all along the way. Obviously that is true. The problem is it was when, like with this last economy, when we put money back into society, it doesn't always come back if people are, if they have already spent above their means and they use that money to pay off previous debts. So that was kind of the issue that I saw there. Yes?
I know you said that people that have money create jobs, but do you think the ratio of like the money they keep and the money they're giving back is fair?
For who? The upper rich people?
Yeah.
When you have money and you keep it, that doesn't do anything for you. Money is something that you have to part with. So if they're just keeping it, then obviously they're just going to be helping us deflate our currency.
Yeah, but they're keeping like a lot larger portion of what they're giving back.
As I said, that doesn't really help them at all.
Yeah.
It would only just deflate our currency because it wouldn't be out there. So we need to stop questions.
That's all the time we have for questions. Cody, you have 6 to 10 minutes.
5 minutes for rebuttal.